Namaste everyone. My name is Omkar. So HSS Shakha welcomes you all to celebrate Science Day today. Uh, I would like to tell you a few words about our Shakha. So we meet every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. At the moment virtually via Google Meet. So the same link that we have joined today. A bit of background about our Shakha. So we try and include different activities like physical exercises, intellectual and analytical games in our Shakha. There are also discussions on various topics in every Shakha. So, for example, we have had some debates or discussions on education system in Germany. At the same time, also some technical topics, so like security and data privacy for social media, so a lot of interesting things to talk about and exchange our ideas with each other. We have also celebrated different festivals, so like Makar Sankrant, Shiv Jayanti, and many others in the past. With this, we would like to request you all to join our Shaka regularly via the same Google Meet link. Moving on to our today's event. So, as everybody knows, that National Science Day is celebrated on 20th of February every year in India. This day recalls the notable invention called as Raman effect by India's greatest scientist C.V. Raman. He was the first Indian person to win the Nobel Prize in the field of science for his work on the scattering of light. This day is basically celebrated as one of the main science festivals in India, I would say, every year. And the purpose of this day is to display all the activities, efforts, achievements in the field of science for welfare of human beings. At the same time, the purpose is also to discuss all the issues, implement new technologies for the development of science, and also to give opportunity to the scientific-minded citizens in the country. And today's Shakha is also one such attempt to spread the message on significance of science and its application in the daily life of people. So moving on, we have two Vaktes for today. Our first speaker for today is Shri Mukund Deshpande. He is joining us from Pune. Uh, a bit of background about Mukundji. Mukundji will talk on the topic of sustainable development, role of Indian tradition and science. He completed his master's from Bharati Vidyapit, Pune College of Pharmacy. He is currently the CEO of Metal Innovations. Uh, a bit of info about Metal Innovations. Metal Innovations works in the areas of human milk banking, renewable energy resource management, and region-specific innovative technology development. Mukunji was the Joint Secretary of Vigyan Bharati, Western Region, National Executive Committee member for Grassroot Innovation IISF, and National Executive Council member for NGO Network Vibhavani. With this, I request Mukunji to please continue with his presentation.
Yes,
Namaste,
please.
everyone.
Yes.
So I'm very much excited to talk about this subject, and I will also show why I'm saying this. So let's say there are two different scientific methods with which we are actually hoping uh, to drive ourselves into the wellness stage of human race. So one is sustainable development goals, which we are thinking right now, and another is the traditional Sanatan Dharma and the thinking methodologies which were developed and implemented in the society. Can we go to next slide, please? So while defining sustainable development goals, UN Assembly, which is now determined to complete these sustainable development goals in 2030, so they have defined uh, this dimension for sustainable development. So one is economic, environmental, and social. Can we go to next slide, please? So right now, for humanity, United Nations together, all the countries, they have thought of 17 goals, and all these goals and 169 sub goals, which are extension of those 17 goals. So they are saying these goals are integrated and individual and balance of three dimensions of sustainable development. So these three development, their interlinkages and how uh, we look towards development of human race and what are our goals towards humanity. Fortunately, the approach of our thinkers, or may I say rishis, was very much to the core of one individual, one person. That's why the goals for human race were defined by the goals for a person in his life. So can we please go to next slide? See, these sustainable development goals, as I said, these are 17. Most of you must have gone through them. But each of them, it is defined uh, about prosperity, planet, partnership, everything. But they are very much oriented towards well-being of humans and consumption oriented, talking about balanced consumption, talking about the, what we can say, we being the people who are responsible for everything which is happening. That's how the approach is. Can we go to the next slide? Yeah. So these 17 goals, which I have shown earlier in the slide, so the know-how goes through these 4 points. So the first is people, and the assembly announces, UN Assembly, that we will end poverty and hunger in all its forms and dimensions, and to ensure that all human beings can fulfill their potential in dignity and equality and in a healthy environment. So when we say that this is uh, about the poor people, about the people uh, who may be challenged in different fields of their life, his goals, they will support him and make him conquer all the challenges. That's how it looks to me on the face value of it. The second is planet. When this assembly thought of actually considering this planet as a resource, so I think that is the basic difference. Right now, we are thinking our planet as a resource and how we can actually consume it for our future generation. So this is again very much human centric, and it's when we talk about Sanatana attitude towards it, how it is more scientific that will come to know. Next slide, please. Prosperity. This is again about very much into fulfilling needs of human lives. And as we said, there are these three dimensions of economics, social, and environment. So the prosperity here again considers economic, social, and technological progress, which is linear in nature. Linear means if something is happening today, and if anything will happen tomorrow morning, so that is considered to be more advanced than today. So this linear pattern of thinking about prosperity is also a specialty of this thinking process in the sustainable goals. Then peace. So it is written over there that if there is sustainable development, there will be peace, and if there is peace, there will be sustainable development. So actually, to foster peaceful, just, and inclusive societies which are free from fear and violence, uh, I think when we say know-how, and if we want to achieve sustainable development, or in the other word, they are saying that we want to achieve peace. So maybe when we come to Sanatana, we will be directly relating all these factors to it. A partnership, of course, That is one of the most important factors. And it is saying that since the beginning, our understanding of togetherness on this planet, the partnerships were not uh, that much, what I can say, workable, or they were not working together towards anything. So this is something happening uh, in a revised manner, a revitalized manner. So this is the definition of partnership which they are mentioning, and of course they have elaborated on it. But let's see what Sanatana Dharma says now, or the Indian science and tradition thinks about it. Can you go to next slide, please? So I'm putting it very simply. Please try to understand this is for the individual, and individual makes societies. So Sanatana Dharma talks about the four Purusharthas. It starts with Artha, that's the materialistic. It goes on to emotional, then righteous emotions, and ultimately liberation, that is moksha. And this in itself, this thought, uh, contains uh, and talks about fulfillment of individual desires, desires as society, desire as countries, and ultimately also thinking about other people, where it is talking about righteousness, thinking about nature, thinking about right of other creatures as well, which all are defined in this sustainable development goal. Maybe the terminology is different, but this Indian scientific method to think about it is more vyapak or more inclusive. Let's see how it has been done. Can we go to the next slide, please? So here we're talking about the same economic, environment, and social, but the canvas and dimensions in Sanatan Chintan or Sanatan thinking, or I should say Indian science and traditions, they are related to spirituality and upliftment of the self. But when I say spirituality, is nothing further than science, and economic, environmental, and social understanding through the eyes of spirituality or individual upliftment gives you ability to sustain your lifestyle, to be ekatma or in unison with the universal aspirations, whatever is surrounding you. And I think that is the more integrated, interlinked thought process and more scientifically correct method to actually imbibe uh, this union with, say, environment or universe in your day-to-day aspects of life. That is again economics, your interface with environment, and your social being. Can we go to the next slide, please? So, what exactly is this know-how when we talk about Indian tradition and science? Interlinkage and integrated nature of goals. I will give you an example. In a customary tradition where you actually uh, also keep some food separate for cow, that is where it is interlinked. That is where there is integrated approach. When you also think of a particular day on which then you should not cut hair, and that day is actually a day which the whole society has decided to give off to that hair salon owner, and this happens with every person. So it is very thoughtfully done process whereby your spirituality, righteousness, or dharma and your karma kanda are related to the needs and justified needs of everyone who is around you. Even in certain cases, when we say we are actually, this is one example. You must have heard of Hartalika. In Hartalika, It is, the Katha says that Parvati ate all the leaves on Himalaya. So I always wonder, was it a Himalaya of lesser height where actually there was a lot of vegetation and now it has changed since the height is increasing. But when the woman who very devotedly goes around and collects leaves, they know that these leaves will be their need again when next year the Hartalika comes. So this is always seen in context with the biodiversity preservation of that area. Wherever the uh, in accordance with geography and availability of plants, the requirement is changed, and it is very much what I can say. Uh, they have very much made it simple, this preservation practice, without uh, going into the complications of it, and the result is achieved. So I feel that this method is more scientific and more towards achieving the outcome. The next is spirit of universal solidarity. So I just explain you, when you think about uh, the barber in your society and about his off day, similar things are done uh, when we think of Mahakumbha, when many people are coming together. And I always wondered why it is in the mind of all these lakhs and lakhs of people that they become so sashraddha. They believe, their faith makes them drive themselves to far off destination on a particular time frame. Why it is happening? And as I feel lucky to work in Vigyan Bharati, this was our topic of discussion with Honorable Dr. Bhatkarji. And there were certain aspects, and one of them was this is a larger gathering where actually immunity, herd immunity, is transferred. And after that Mahakumbha, uh, it's kind of vaccination. People may debate this, but it's kind of exchange of immunity, exchange of cultural development, exchange of means and methods, acceptance of the superior method developed by somebody else, and rejection of something which is not that useful once you find out something more useful. So I think this thinking or collaborative effort to keep on improvising your society, to keep on improvising uh, or giving away good things from your side and opening it up to the world, opening it up to everyone. Uh, that is one more important part or the know-how, which I think universal solidarity, that spirit. Then the third one is detailed methodology to meet needs of everyone. I must say this: it is possible when Veer Savarkar says that I will use electric funeral system for myself. It is possible, and in Pune you can come and witness thousands and thousands people have agreed to, and they are doing it. How it is possible? Why it is happening flawlessly? Because when someone comes with this need of anything special, anything new, anything different, it is tried out. Everyone is given equal importance. Every small aspect is looked into collaboratively, and then it is accepted or rejected, or whatever may be the faith of that thing, but it is tried. I think this approach has also made us last longer. We are the oldest civilization, and this aspect of ours can actually improvise life in many countries and can actually give justice to many people who are suffering from lack of technology, or who are not accepting new methods, maybe with their reasons, but this is where we can show them light. Then participation of people, this is also discussed in the development goals. They are saying when the people should come, the stakeholders should come. But in case of Sanatan methodology, when the participation of people is said, I will explain you with a simple example of any temple in India where right from a Brahmin who worships God in the Gabhara to someone who is managing hospitality 2 kilometers away for the Bhaviks who are coming, everyone is benefited. If you go to Shirdi, if you go to Pandharpur, you will see many travelers when the pilgrimage is happening on larger scale, the whole ecosystem is functional. Their economics depends on it, and everyone is benefited. And even to actually, if you go in detail, you will see that specific rituals, specific supplies are distributed among the society, and it is completely independent system which is very much interdependent and works flawlessly, no matter if the people are in 5 lakhs in number or more than that. So I think this participation of people, which is a part of our Sanatan thinking and scientific methodology, which it has shown uh, all along these years, and it is still going on. I believe that we are going to last, and this is very important aspect or know-how where we are actually inviting people to take it forward. The last and know-how, which is participation of everyone. So when you talk about sustainable development goals, it is only participation of humans which is talked about. But when I say participation of everyone in Sanatan uh, scientific methodology, they even talk about the very uh, Mulbhut Pancha Mahabhutas, and right from there, right from worshipping and giving argya to them to the actually creations of God, everyone is worshipped. And when I say worship, they become part of our life. They have been given so much importance, and so it's not only giving importance or worshipping it, but it is also understanding why it is there, why it is needed, how it is important, and to accept and say that humans are also nature, we are also part of the ecology, we are also part of that ecosystem, and we should also show that urge to be in symbiotic synergy around us. So I think that is something which we can contribute, or where we can give this corrective uh, action to this UN Sustainable Development Goals, which everybody uh, in this modern era are trying to achieve. Can we go to next slide? Well, this is a thank you slide, but I will just uh, maybe our Honorable Srikanji Kulkarni is also in this meeting. And when we actually wrote uh, a quote uh, from Rigveda about how our heart should think of one aim, how our heart should work in a unidirection, and how we should achieve prosperity and peace together, uh, he may you may understand what I am saying, because that's what we have written uh, uh, while finishing one of such big events where we try to integrate everything. So this integration, interlinkages, is something which comes from our own Indian scientific traditions, and I think that's what is our role uh, in achieving sustainable development goals. That's all from my side. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Mukunji. So yeah, it's very interesting talk, and I think you have given us a lot to think about. So at least when I think about sustainability development, I really don't know where to focus on. So with the goals that you have showed today, I think everybody can orient themselves towards sustainable development, and they can all focus on different aspects of sustainable development. And I'm sure there's a lot to discuss on this topic. So I also request our listeners to please write their questions in the chat.